There is a village in Nigeria where people do not speak about the past, not because they forgot it, but because remembering it feels like betrayal. A place where silence is not peace, it is a rule. And breaking that rule has consequences no one fully explains. Deep in southern Nigeria, far from busy roads and city noise, there was a small village surrounded by thick forest and slow-moving rivers. To outsiders, it looked ordinary. Children played barefoot in red soil. Women fetched water before sunrise. Men returned from farms as the sun began to fall. Life followed a rhythm that had not changed for generations. But there was something unusual. No one ever asked about the land beyond the eastern forest. And no one ever went there, not even by mistake. The villagers would only say one thing if asked. That place is not for living things. And then they would stop talking. It started with small things. A trader from a nearby town claimed he passed through the village and noticed something strange. He said he greeted a young boy sitting under a mango tree. The boy did not respond. Not even a blink. Just a fixed stare, as if listening to something far away. When the trader looked away for just a moment, the boy was gone. No footsteps. No sound. No trace. The villagers simply told him, "You should not have seen him." That was all. Around the same time, hunters began reporting something unusual in the forest. They said the deeper they went toward the eastern side, the quieter everything became. No birds, no insects, no wind. Just silence so thick it felt like pressure on the skin, and always faint whispers. Not in words they could understand, but in their own voices, calling them back. One rainy season, a stranger arrived, a teacher from a distant town. He said he wanted to understand the fear surrounding the forest. The village elders warned her. They told her, some questions are heavier than answers. But she did not listen. On her third day, she entered the eastern forest with a notebook and a lantern. At first, everything seemed normal. Trees, mud, mist. Then his torch flickered. And the forest changed. The trees appeared closer than they should be. Paths he had crossed no longer led back the same way. And then he heard it. His own voice, whispering behind him, repeating thoughts he had not spoken aloud. He wrote in his notebook, "The forest is learning me." That was his last entry. He never returned. But 3 days later, villagers saw him walking at the edge of the village, alive, but different. He did not speak. He did not respond. He simply stood under the rain, facing the forest, as if waiting for permission to return. That night, the elders gathered. For the first time in years, they spoke the truth aloud. Long ago, the village was not alone. The eastern forest was once home to another settlement, a people who ignored warnings, who tried to map what should not be mapped, who listened when the forest spoke back. And the forest did speak. It did not shout. It did not chase. It simply remembered those who entered, and slowly it replaced them, not their bodies, but their place in the world, so that when they returned, no one could fully recognize them as human. The rule of the village was never about fear. It was about containment, because the forest does not kill, it keeps. The next morning, the teacher was gone again. No one saw him leave. No footprints. No sound. No direction. Only his notebook remained at the edge of the forest. On the last page, a single line was written. "It is not a place you enter. It is a place that enters you." And in the village, nothing was ever said about him again, because silence there was not absence. It was agreement. And somewhere beyond the eastern forest, something was still listening, waiting, for the next person who would ask the wrong question, and no one ever spoke of it again.